Hi everybody, it's me, Sam, and this is By Hook or By Needles, and what's that? Hang on, has another message come through? No. Okay, I thought I had another message come through. Sorry, excuse me, being so rude. Okay, I got a bit of a yarn haul, and I say a bit because it is really just a bit. I got more yarn coming tomorrow, of a different, from a different place and a different brand and everything else. So I thought I'd show you first the stuff that has arrived, and that is Bendigo Woolen Mills. This actually arrived like really late. I think last night. It must have arrived because I went to bed really early in the afternoon because I was shattered. And then I think I got up around just before midnight to watch Fortunate Kim, and so I didn't sort of even bother checking emails or anything. But when I did check emails, about an hour or so later, I discovered that they had delivered another parcel, and my Ring door, camera did show me a parcel sitting there, and I thought, oh, no, it's 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I'm not going out there. So it sat there until the sun came up. But and I am on a main street, but I'm in a very small town. Would you call it? Wouldn't call it a village. I suppose you could call it a village, but a village is more, UK speak, isn't it? It's a very small population of people. And I got a lot of vegetation that sort of covers my front door, so it was very safe. To be perfectly honest, I've never heard of us having porch pirates, but I mean, they're everywhere. So I mean, they probably are around. If they want my yarn, good luck to them. I'm sure they'll be very disappointed that it's not a new mobile phone or a PlayStation or something, whatever. Anyway. Back to the most important thing of all, the yarn. Bendigo Woolen Mills. It's an Australian yarn. It's Australian wool that they spin in to create the yarn. They used to send to China to have it like processed. Clean, processed, and all the rest of it, and then sent back, and then they would spin and dye. I believe that was like 10 or more years ago. I believe that they had now, the whole process takes place in Australia, which I love. I love the idea of that. Anyway, I got 8-ply. The 8-ply is 400 meters, approximately, which is around about 7 ounces, I think. 8-ply is a 3-weight. It is also DK. Now, and this is like what I would call, it is a true DK. It really is. They don't skimp on their plies at Bendigo Woolen Mills. This is one of their upper tier yarns, I guess you could sort of say. Mind you, in my opinion, all their yarns are upper tier. They're all gorgeous. But this is like probably, I think they're probably the most expensive, or their second most expensive. Yeah, I can't, yeah. I'm trying to find the other ones. It depends on, of course, what ply you're getting as well. Obviously, smaller plies have more meterage and therefore tend to be more expensive. But if you do go and have a look at the website, and I do implore you just to go and have a look, remember a few things. The yarn is most of the yarn comes in these really large 200-gram balls. The yarn is 100% wool. The yarn is machine washable, but you don't get to tumble dry it. and if you rinse it, you've got to do it on a gentle spin. You do need to lay it flat. But it is dry cleanable at 30 degrees. But it is made in Australia, and that's what I love. Being obviously an Australian, I love the fact that I can use this. Now, what else was I going to say about the yarn? This one is called Luxury. There is another one out. Let me see if I can find it. There's another one they got. Now this one, that's what I was going to do, the price. This is $17.95, and that's Australian dollars, which is 18 Australian dollars. Now, if you're in the UK, you can halve that, give or take. Obviously, the exchange rate does vary. So that's £9 for 100 grams. Now, and it's wool, 100% wool. Don't forget that either. And it is really gorgeous wool. I mean, you can wear this next to the skin. I mean, I don't have issues with itchiness, but, it is very soft. Now, I just want to find the price of the other one that sort of is its nearest competitor, sort of, in the brands that they've got. Come on, where is it? Or did they discontinue it already? Okay, it might have been discontinued already. They did have another yarn which was called Whisper, which was a little bit more fluffy, I think, and a lot softer. Okay, yeah, no, I can't see that one anymore. So the next price they have, which just to compare, is their classic. And normally I get their classic, I must admit. That is the yarn I usually buy. But I decided to go for the luxury. The classic is just $16 for a 200 gram ball in 8 ply. So $8 for 100 grams, or £8 for, or £8, sorry, for 100 gram, which is £8 for 3.5 ounces. In the US, if you take the amount, say 18, sorry, not 18, yeah, 18 for this one, divide it by 3, multiply by 2, because this, basically, I think at the moment, whatever the Australian amount is, the US amount is 2/3 of the Australian. So you're looking at under, about say 13 or 14 US dollars for 7 ounces of pure 100% wool. And it is gorgeous stuff. Like I say, I love it. If I could afford to just do Bendigo, I would just do Bendigo. I am actually making a blanket very, very slowly in Bendigo because I've gotten to the stage, I started using all my scraps. So I used all my tiniest scraps in the center, and the blanket's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now I need like almost full ball, half a ball or whatever to do just one round. The blanket's gotten that big. So I'm quite excited about hopefully having some leftovers so that I can tack that on. Now, what am I going to make with, well, first I'll show you the other yarn I got. Now these, because this is the same, like these are all luxury, they keep the same, they use the same dyes for that 8 plies as they do for that 4 plies. So I've actually gotten, I got 4 ply as well. Now, there is a slight difference, but you will get that between dye lots anyway. But I got 200 grams of each of the 3 colors as well in the 4 ply. And the reason I got 4 ply and 8 ply was because I'm making a jumper with the 8 ply, and I wanted to make some socks with the 4 ply. The only problem being, this isn't strictly sock yarn. and Bendigo Woolen Mills do not make, well, they might do. There might be a few smaller weight balls that they do in solid colours. I think they do just cream. But anyway, now the 4-ply, that is approximately 720 meters, which I'm going to say is around about 860 yards, give or take. Again, it's a 200-gram ball. Its cost is, what is its cost? I think it costs more than the 8-ply because you're basically just getting a lot more yarn. Yeah, it's $20 basically for the 200 grams, which is £10 and about, say, I'm going to say just $15 US maybe. Like I say, exchange rate and all the rest of it, I'm just guessing. I don't know for 100% sure. But it's worth going to the website and having a look. And, you know, even with the postage, and I don't think Australia's postage overseas is nearly so bad as the US sending to Australia. I know that the US sending to Australia, the costs are just insane. Whereas I think ours isn't great, but it's not nearly as bad. And if you add the postage to the yarn, divide it by how many balls you got, so you're doing basically the same thing you would do if you were buying ice yarn, you would find even then, I think, that this wool comes out at a very, very competitive pricing, considering it, yes, it is wool. Yes, you're getting huge 200-gram balls. So yeah, I'm making socks with these. They have no nylon in them. So what I'm actually going to do, long time ago, what's it called? Distitch. D-I-Stitch. All one word. And it was Assia Brill, A-S-S-I-A, or A-S-S-A-S-I-A, something like that. Bell, I think her surname is. Reinvented, and I say reinvented, and I'll explain why in a second, but she wrote a book called Distitch, and she, at the beginning, she had this like sort of disclaimer that she had researched and studied and looked in history books and all the rest of it to see if this method of knitting she felt she had invented was anywhere, and she could not locate it anywhere. So, you know, she put this disclaimer type in the book, and then, you know, created this way of knitting that what basically happens is it's a little bit like brioche, but it's not brioche. But what actually happens is you end up with a much thicker piece of fabric. And so if you're making socks with yarn that isn't built for sock making, which this isn't built for sock making, it's got no nylon on it, you can use the Distitch method that she created or reinvented to make thicker portions of the areas that are going to be wearing hard. So like the toes, heels, and that sort of thing. And that's what I intend to do with this. Now, why did I choose this and not another yarn? Because I wanted it to match exactly with the 8-ply. I wanted it to match the jumper because obviously 200 grams, more than enough to get a pair of socks out of. I'll have more than enough to do a hat as well. And I'm going to do a hat using the same design that is on the jumper. And I'll possibly use the same design that is on the jumper on the socks. Now, let me show you. Oh, dear. I've got to find the pictures. Okay, so here is the jumper. I'm going to put a link down the bottom for it. This is the jumper that I'm making. It's a top down. My daughter's name is Holly, hence why I'm making it for her birthday. so you can see that I'm using the off-white and then the green and the red. And that's the jumper I'm making, top down, knitted obviously. And I think I could probably, if I'm careful and think about it, I can actually put that on a hat. And that would look really good, especially if I can do it on the socks as well. And yes, they are little balls. They're little bobbles, knitted bobbles. So, yeah. Now, the socks I was thinking of doing were these, because I didn't want Christmas socks, and I didn't want a Christmas jumper. I wanted a jumper with holly on, and I wanted socks with just holly on. And this has a bit of a peppermint candy cane going on it, but I thought, okay, well, I can get rid of those and just do the sprigs of holly. And like I say, I'll do the heel and the toe in the Distitch. I'll put a link to the Distitch, also to the book, if it's still on Amazon, so you can have a look and have a look at the blurb. One thing I will say, like I say, she put a disclaimer at the book saying she did all this research, she created this new stitch, and to her knowledge, it didn't exist prior to her creating it. Sadly, that's not 100% true. She did later state that, yes, people had said to her, no, that's a very, very, very old stitch. You've just basically reinvented it. You haven't invented it, type of thing. Which is a bit of a shame because, you know, I'm sure she felt very disappointed because she obviously did her very best, well, according to the book, she did her very best to make sure that it wasn't, you know, she wasn't stealing someone else's idea. Now, apart from the socks and that, and a hat that I will do, I also want to do some stockings in the same colour, possibly. I don't know whether that's a 4 or an 8 ply, but that'll be for next Christmas. And I've actually asked my daughter if she's come up with a name for the baby yet, and they won't tell me. They said, yeah, well, they said there's a few we want to try. And I'm like, do they know how hard it is to do duplicate stitch? I'd rather knit the name into it, but anyway. So I'm going to have to wait and add the names afterwards. But, yeah. So that's what I'm intending to make with that. I will put the link in for the cozy, for the stocking too, just in case anyone's interested. So that's what I'm making with that Bendigo. And I thought, because I mentioned their knitting, their sock yarn, I thought I might just show you some of their, where's my other colour? Some of their, is that another colour there? That isn't, is it another one? Yeah. Some of their colourways for their, now some of these might be actually obsolete now. They might have been discontinued. But these are some of their sock weight yarns. These are only 100 grams. And they are about, let me have a look. Where's their multicolour? Okay, they're $16 for 100 grams. So they are a bit more expensive, but 70% wool, 30% nylon, again, machine washable. Machine washable, you cannot tumble dry them, but yeah, machine washable. Ignore the two, that's just me saying I had 2 balls of it, but I don't know where the other ball's gone. Anyway, so you will find that if you look at them, these sock yarns, apart from being absolutely gorgeous, which they are, let me see if I can find the other info on them. No meterage. That's unusual. They usually have meterage. Let me have a look. It'll be on the 400 meters. Okay, so there's 400 meters in here. Okay, 400 meters of the 4-ply in here. These colors, it actually states there is they got a note on there, which is like a bit of a disclaimer, and it says, due to the long colour shifts in this yarn, every colour may not be represented in every ball, and balls from the same dye lot may appear quite different. And that's just a disclaimer. I've never had any issues with that, considering, you know, you are basically making socks with them. You're only using 100 grams for 2 socks, so you're only using 1 ball for 2 socks, you know, a pair of socks. So you're not gonna, you know, unless you sort of, you know, only make little tiny socks and then, you know, use half a ball, and then you want to make another bigger socks, then you might sort of have a bit of color difference, but otherwise you're not. They do have like this really slow shift change, and if you can see here, there are 3 colors, no, 4 colors there. 1, 2, no, 3 colors. You've got a reddy sort of pinky color, you've got a yellow and a green. And then sometimes you've only got 2 colors, like yellow and orange. So that's how, you know, and they're all purple and red. So this is how it shifts. It shifts ever so slowly. And you really do need to like dig into the ball when you get it to see all the colors you're going to get in the ball. And they are really, really extraordinary. The site does show you an example of what each one looks like knitted up. This one is Oriental Flowers. I don't think they've got it anymore. Yes, they do. Sorry, my apologies. They do. They still have Oriental Flower available. So that's one. Then this one is, and they've all got the same stats. This one is called Rose Gold. Is Rose Gold still available? No, that's been sold out. But this one is very much just pink and orange, but it's various depths of the pink and the orange in it, as you can see. This again, like the 8-ply, this is I call class as a true 4-ply. 4-ply, that's weight of 2, which is also fingering, and I think it's got another name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Beautiful colors once again. And this one is called Autumn Leaves. Once again, you get in there, and some of them I think have a bit more gold in them than others, but I think this one's also, it's discontinued, or they've sold out. So whether or not it comes back, I don't know. Each winter, our winter, they do tend to bring out new sock colors, but I really like this one for just the muted colors it's got. And once again, very long changing colors. And because I love purple, I got this one, which is called Hydrangea Blooms. Is there any left? No, they haven't got any Hydrangea Blooms either. I bought most of these, quite a while ago. So the fact that they, haven't got them still, it doesn't surprise me. But you can sort of see that there's blues in this, there's purples. You delve really deep and you've got just only purple, pale blue, dark blue, medium blue. It really is just a huge range of beautiful colors. Love them. And this one, Now this one is called Royal Magic. And look at this, look at that green. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. And look at these, the red and the purple together. I mean, I just love it. I just love exploring these balls because they really are just, and they're long change colors. So, but not so long that they won't change when you're making a sock. They will change whilst you're making a sock. But, they're just such vibrant, beautiful colors. But they're the only colors I've actually got at the moment. Apart from some cream. But the cream is, once again, not a sock yarn. They do have one if you have a look, and it's called Marble Statue. And the marble statue, when it shows you what it looks like knitted up, it does come across as being all one colour, but it's not. It's it does sort of move in and out of colours, but once again, it is a beautiful, beautiful yarn. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you and share what I am thinking of making. The jumper, the socks and the hat, I've got to try and get them all finished before winter ends in the UK, because my daughters are currently in the UK, so I want to try and get them all done before then. Yeah, so link to the patterns should be in the description. Link for the yarn will be in the description. Link to the book about Distitch should also all be in the description, in case you do want to have a look at all those. So this is just these yarns aren't obviously my new haul. These are all my new, just these were my new haul. There's only 3 colours, but I did want to show you their sock yarn because it is absolutely gorgeous. Now tomorrow I will have another yarn haul, I hope, because the rest of the yarn for a blanket that I intend to do might come in, so look out for that. Until then, please take care. I'm still waiting for this cool change that they promised. It's in the rain that they promised. It's still not come. I hate the heat, I really do. But until then, please take care, everybody, and I'll see you all later. Bye for now.
Hi, my name is Joey, and my mummy wants to know why you haven't subscribed yet. Come on, hit that button. Thank you. Bye.